This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Let me see. There we go. All right. Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier show on MB Radio. That's right. Military Broadcast Radio, the platform that gives veterans a voice. And again, I want to shout out to MBR for allowing me to have my show here. Very blessed, very blessed. Been in radio for a long time and debating on bringing back my military talk show was something that I wanted to do. But just the right time and the right place. And what better way to have a show that's designed and the platform is dedicated to veterans across the country. So I'm very blessed to be on this platform. Before I get started, I just wanted to I brought up my website here because tomorrow on the, let me stop this thing right here. Pause that. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be doing a talk around some veteran conversations, and I got it titled as Shattered Thoughts. And Shattered Thoughts is just me. I'm a patient advocate. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I've done a lot of work to be able to be in front of you today. And my healing journey started at age 40, and my transition out of the military. I have sickle cell trait. I experienced what they call sickle cell trait with exertional rhabdomyolysis. And that's one of the conversations that is this month is a Rhabdo Awareness Month. But I was asked to do this talk because of the change and transition for us as veterans, right? And not only just out of service change or transition, but also when we're in service and we're serving our country. And for those of us who had families, there's a lot of times that I noticed for myself that when it was time for me to go to a class or go to a training or go and get deployed, probably about 2 weeks um, before leaving, I would disconnect from my family. And it was something that I didn't know at the time. It wasn't until years after my service when I started, talking to other people and started to realize, just my career and the impact of it. I had a great career, but the emotional side of it. And what we discover is that some people disconnect from their families before they leave, which what it does is it allows us to just be away and not worry about what's going on at home, right? Because I was taught in basic training when I joined that, hey, you cannot worry about where your wife is, where your girlfriend is. Jody got your girl and gone. So, and if you're over here daydreaming about your family or where your loved ones are, you could get your whole squad killed because you're not paying attention. And so as a 19-year-old, and also already dealing with emotional stuff as a child, it was easy for me to disconnect from people when I had to take off. But again, that wasn't healthy for my family, of course. So what we discovered is in transition and change is so important that we don't realize how it affects us. But also, let's talk about the transition and change for the children. So the children who grow up in the military and they live on these bases maybe 3-4 years, and then they have to uproot, move to another location, find new friends, all that stuff all over again. Well, guess what? Sometimes that's also an emotional transition change for that child and having to make new friends. And if you're living with, I'm not good enough, I don't belong, I'm on my own, in one of those areas, there's something wrong with me, then how do you think you would feel transitioning and changing to different locations, right? That's just from the military aspect. What we teach from today, I teach in elementary and middle schools around emotional intelligence. And so what I've learned from Caldwell is that transition and change is also an emotional charge from elementary to middle school. Because in elementary school, you have about one class, about 30 students. And then you go to middle school and you've got more teachers, more students. And for some children in that transition, by the time you're 12 or 13, you're not talking to your mom and dad as much anymore because they don't understand you. They don't listen to you. I feel like I was abandoned by my mom or dad. Whatever that fracture is between that child and that parent, it's going to start showing up around that teenage years. And then, of course, when we turn to our peers for love and acceptance, we know that's all trial and error. So we're finding that a lot of the transition and change from elementary to middle school is if I don't have an identity in some kind of sports or some kind of activity or some kind of club, or I'm not connected to my parents, what happens is I'm susceptible to gangs, predators, alcohol, drugs. We laugh and joke about the children who wear black fingernail polish and dress as emos, but those are people who are trying to find their place to belong. And how powerful and how important is the sense of belonging, which is what we all want as human beings. And so we're going into that conversation. So tomorrow at 6 p.m., you can go to farrond.com. There you'll find the link. It's private. You have to register. It's private. It's not broadcasted on the internet. I want it to be a place where it's at least be kind of intimate so people can listen in and share, ask me questions. Again, I'm a patient advocate, so I'm going to share my story. I'm going to let people ask me questions about how I managed it and let them share their perspective of where they are. And just maybe this could be enough for someone to soften their heart and find, hey, you know what? Maybe I do need to go to some kind of mental health classes or some personal development classes or go to church or something. So it's if I can just soften the hearts of people, that's what I'm up to, right? And so that's going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be not a Zoom. The Breakthrough Show, they have a great virtual conference room that she designs. I'm on Beyond 2D with her, and so she designed a really nice classroom for us virtually. So when you log in, it'll be your picture on the screen, and then you'll be able to see everybody, but you'll be in your home, in the privacy of your own home. You can have as many people on as you want in your space, and we're just going to have an open conversation. So go there and register. Again, this is something that's very important. Because again, just look in life today. just look in life and how important is a sense of belonging. That is something that we know that is important for human beings. We want to belong somewhere, right? And you look at the bullies. The bullies are bullying other children because they're dealing with something in their own house. So I'm gonna get attention one way or another, right? And even if it's negative attention, you're gonna pay attention to me for some reason, right? And so this is what we discovered. So that's the talk tomorrow. I call it Shattered Thoughts. I did one in person, but I felt like this time to give more people, I'm on the internet with my talk show. So what better way to have people to just chime in from wherever you are in the country to be a part of this conversation. So there's 30 seats available. I believe we're at about 14 left. And so you can go there, subscribe, like I said, register. You get a link in return and then with a password. And again, it's private. It's intimate. So I don't want you to think that this is a talk show. No, this is a talk, but not the talk show. All right. So today, let's see what else. Oh, let me go here because today it is Rhabdo Awareness Month, and so I interviewed a soldier. She was in the Marines and the Army, and on my Sunday night show. And again, 99% of my shows are organic. I don't really ask people about their background. I want to be, I want it to be natural as possible. And she was able to come on the show and actually shared one of the key points that I wanted covered, and I didn't know she was going to cover it, but she had experienced rhabdo and she was looking for a personal trainer. And she said that she had a hard time finding a personal trainer who knew about rhabdo. And I thanked her for that because that is the target audience. There's a lot of people out here training athletes and training people in the gym, and you got personal trainers, you got social media, influencers that are doing all this fitness and call them, saying that they're training people. But are you aware of the conditions that can happen to a person that could cause them to have some physical issues and even sudden death? Right. So rhabdomyolysis is nothing to play with. I experienced that. I didn't die from it, obviously, but I had almost all the symptoms except for the cardiac arrest. And so when she made that comment about the trainers, I was like, thank you, because that is one of the communities that we are after to talk to educate them about rhabdomyolysis, because a lot of people don't know. And so it was a hard time for her to find a trainer. She finally found one who had some knowledge of rhabdo, and so she's going to start working out with him. But that was just a week ago. She said that she found someone who really understood the condition, and so I've tested it myself. And I've met some trainers that had no idea about rhabdomyolysis. Again, it's very important. It's a skeletal muscular issue, and what happens when the myoglobin breaks down into the bloodstream, it leaks out the negative toxins in the muscles, negative potassium. All those chemicals that are in the muscle, plus it clogs the kidneys. So people have renal failure. It causes swelling in the body. And if you don't get that taken care of right away, again, the worst case is you could have cardiac arrest. And we've had people die from military to athletes to people doing marathons and CrossFit have had some severe complications as well. I never fully recovered from mine. And so I have secondary health issues with my sickle cell trait and the rhabdo, and mixed with now arthritis and the skeletal muscular stuff that I deal with, joint damage and muscle damage, fatigue. So very important. This is our awareness month. And so if you want more information, rhabdo.info, www.rhabdo.info, you can go there and get some more information about that. That is something, again, that is important. I've got a lot of stuff on my website that you can see and read about. That's the organization I partner with, the Rhabdo Foundation. Again, there's all the basic information about rhabdo is on my site. You can go to the CDC as well and click on rhabdomyolysis, and you can get information there. I've been doing these talks for years now, so it is very important for people to know about this condition because it can be fatal and it's rare. Right now, it's still considered being rare. So again, thank you so much for allowing me to present that to you. I'm going to play some public service announcements and come back. We have a great guest today. Big Dre is back here. We got Kevin with us, and we're just going to have a nice dialogue and talk about some of our military experiences and of course find out what Kevin is up to today as well with his with life after service. So we talk about military experience before, during, and after service. So stay tuned for that. And this is my current sponsor, Comigo. For some of us, we don't want to take drugs, and so we do know that if you control your breathing, that you can calm your nerves, right? And so this is a device that helps in that, right? And so I've been helping them get some exposure. We were trying to get this inside the VA so veterans can get it as a prescription and not have to pay for it. And again, it's about veterans, but human beings, there's a human being flaw. We all deal with some type of anxiety or stress, right? And so just because you're here is for veterans, if you know a family member that might want to try this, you can offer it to them as well. This is Comigo, the Farron Dozier Show, Trench Talk Edition. Shout us out, what's the count?
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Comigo. Comigo is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Comigo decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Comigo.com to learn how you can get Comigo through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on MB Radio. All right, again, thank you so much for listening in today. Again, we have a very important, impactful show for you. Let me bring up Big Dre. We got a guest today, but I'm going to bring up Dre before we get started, man, and see what's going on, man. You're on mute over there. What's happening?
I had to be on mute because I was so enticing to see your intro every week. Amazes me, man. It's an amazing way that you do things, and I love you for it. And once again, shout out to all my brothers and sisters in the armed forces all the world, just serving and those who are not serving, and those who are going through something right now. We hear you, we feel you, and we got you, my brothers and sisters. If you need any help, you have all kind of different ways of doing things. Next week I'm supposed to have a
With
guest.
technical difficulties myself. Hold on.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Yeah, we got Mr. I'm a good friend of BJ Douglas, who played the father on the first hits action here series of Power Rangers. He was the Black Ranger's dad, on Mr. Walter Jones, and I'm trying to get him on the show next week. And he's part of U.S. Vets.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, we had him on. We had him on our show. Veteran Day Live with me and Van Eric Marshall had him on our show. Great guy, phenomenal. He have a lot of things, a lot of resources they got for U.S. Vets they doing. So
Right,
definitely gonna be a good look for us. But like I say, that intro every week is amazing. In the very end of it, if you want to mess with the United States, well, we'll be raising your kids. I love that part.
Hey, MBR, like they ain't no joke with it.
Ain't no joke with it, man. And it's so weird because when the Mexican mafia, the cartel said they are ready for the special forces, I said, oh, yeah, they are. They're ready for it. They better get a lot of caskets, a lot of body bags, a lot of.
Oh, you went on mute. There you go.
My bad.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the cartel is talking about by calling out the military.
Yeah.
That's something you would never, especially when it comes to special forces. You just don't know.
Yeah.
They have no idea for they don't do that. So it's all bad. So I let them know if any of you people of any kind of relief of cartel watching right now and volunteer, man. I mean, I don't have no respect for somebody who murder people for no reason. But you mess with the wrong country, bro. To come to that, don't do that, bro.
Don't
So
do that.
that's all we do is shake our head down, put our head down.
Yeah. That's
a moment of silence for you.
Yeah, for real.
But great show. Great what you're doing, man. And you guys gotta check us out every Sunday night. We do bags to canvas, a little short show about the boxing world through the eyes of experts. So y'all gotta join us every Sunday, 8 p.m. at 106.5 at KCAA. San Bernardino. And yes, I am coming live out there. I'll be out there live on the show. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna walk a plane.
It's different dynamic when you're in person, man.
You're in person, man. It's different. And I can't wait. I'm probably gonna bring the guest with me to go out there, a boxing legend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to get him my retirement. He wants that money.
And
you know who you are, Mr. Tony. Name Tony. Want a little money? Come out there for like a couple of minutes.
Come hang out with us. Come and hang out.
Come hang out where you have a good time, man. You don't know, but it's a great show today, people. Great show.
Definitely. And we gonna do the bags of canvas on this episode too. I mean, on this show too as well. We do the Live Tour Sports on here on MB Radio, but also on KCA. And hopefully soon, once I get with KCAA, we're gonna go back to simulcasting Sunday nights on both platforms. I did it before, but the sound quality wasn't working because we're on Roku TV, and so I don't want to mess up, our show and it doesn't sound, and the sound quality. We what they call them sound gremlins or something.
Yeah,
they was attacking the show. Yeah, they was attacking the show.
Yeah, attacking the show.
Yeah. So we want clean, crisp audio. So
let's brace them for Kevin Indio Copeland. Let's brace them. Your audience.
What do you want to say about Kevin, man?
Let me tell you about Kevin. Kevin's like the black Indian white version of me.
Oh Lord.
He just bald headed. He'll talk you to sleep. He'll put you to sleep. But he
literally though, right?
Yeah, literally. And he's the kind of dude, man, that you go in any kind of war zone with, you want to have somebody right there with you. He's part of Behind the Vest, the documentary that is on Roku on the Flip Flop Network right now. You can see it. He's part of the 7-man group that I took 5 of the most experienced bodyguards in the industry, some of the most experienced guys, and I put them Chris Brittle, Javon, Keys, Ronnie Bass, myself, Doug, martial arts expert Doug Durham. He's on the show. It's produced by me and all the crew. I gave my producers credit, and it's also directed by Nick Cannon, the brother Nick Cannon's brother Gabriel Cannon.
Oh, no kidding.
Him, yeah. So shout out to my boy Gabriel. He's doing a great job in the youth. He's doing with veteran stuff too. He's dealing with the today's youth. Kids are going off to the military, trying to teach them what to prepare for. So we're gonna connect with you and do that. We try to the kid. What are you gonna connect for when you're going to fight for this country? Because you just can't go say, like you say, I'm gonna take that oath. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you take that oath, or you fall in them doors one day drunk, you up the United States Marines, Air Force, Navy. You can't just fall in those. Once you punch somebody, you fall through that window and you try to attack them. The Marines put up their hands and say, she's on our soil now, bro. You're taken outside.
Yeah.
So I had a dude, guess how he got jumped in. He got a gang member trying to kill him, and they stabbed him. He fell inside the Marine Corps, and the guy picks him up. Man, he one of the best snipers around, boy. Now, my boy Jose Quell, he's now retired. He's been one of the big top real estate, but he's a hell of a sniper.
Whoa.
El Salvador, and we work together.
Yeah.
He's a great friend of mine. Shout out to my boy Luis Jose, and that's his name, Luis Jose, and he's a great, incredible person. So, but Kevin is that dude that Kevin met these guys. Kevin helped me train the Archangels, first female bodyguard group. He's one of the original guys who helped train the girls, gave them identities, and he has a daughter, single dad. Anyone be lucky to have him. He's a great all-around guy. But y'all in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen.
He said that y'all was doing some stuff around the Merck Park. We talked a little bit offline. I didn't want to get too much information, but we were talking offline in some familiar places we was around.
Yeah, he man, let me tell you what, Kev blend in with anybody. Kev be the only white black guy with the black family out of Boston. Kevin walk with any color person to speak to him. It's how he was. Man, he's a real deal. That's the kind of dude you want to be in the trenches with, man.
Yeah,
for sure. He don't sugarcoat it. He tell it like it is. He has like us. He has an emotional thing. That the kid is right there.
Yeah.
There.
How you doing, sir?
Oh my God, look at the stuff in the background. I was telling Dozier is that every time I've seen the show 5 times, and every dude, we don't have curtains. We don't have a blanket over the window. I was like,
what it is, man. We are in. I'm in Iraq. I'm in a cell in Iraq. I'm in Iraq.
The secret location.
Exactly what it is. So you get. See, I told you, Farouk, it's never a dull moment, Kevin.
First of all, I'm going to back up because he's a really hard act to follow, man. I mean, people. I hope I don't offend everybody, but I hope I do.
Good.
Can we pray for 1 second?
For sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
man.
Of course.
And if we offend somebody, then they can just change the channel and come back. Because after that, I got to talk to God. Okay. Yeah. He's whispering to me, and I won't.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go.
Father, thank you for gathering us here, and thank you for bringing us here for the sake of veterans, heroes. The reason why we're here is because of veterans. If we didn't have veterans, we wouldn't be here.
Yes.
And the gathering of this, the guest last week, Cooper, is a friend of mine. He just happened to meet Dre 3 weeks ago at Scorpio's, a dancer of ours, and everybody's just coming together, God.
Yes.
They're coming together, and we're not separating. We're coming together. And people think there's racism and stuff. They ain't been in battle. Because when you're in battle, I don't care if you're white, black, purple, yellow, brown, your brother's got your back because it's us against them. Yes. It's America against them. And we're going to do everything we can, God, to do the right thing.
Yes.
And I want to thank you so much for the people you put around me, God, in this show. And thank you for these heroes. And thank you for Dozier for putting this wonderful thing together.
Thank you.
And thank you for Dre. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for that, sir. Thank you for that.
You. See what I'm talking about? So it's
I hope I didn't offend anybody, but if I did,
please defend them. Please defend them on my behalf.
Yeah, please defend them and offend them.
All the atheists out there, please defend those atheists.
They are right.
I'll get this one out of the way. Dre forbidden me to tell any of our war stories and our stories.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop Dre in the waiting room so we could talk. So
yeah, man.
I'm gonna sit down in the waiting room in a second.
On a serious note, I worked the underground. Dre told me don't do it. I went the underground. I worked the underground. One night they almost killed me. And I was laying in bed, and I got up the next morning. I couldn't walk, Dozier. They crippled me. Wow. Yeah, I knew something was wrong because they were hitting my back. I don't want to go into what happened.
Yeah.
But I was crying and I had nobody, man. I couldn't walk. I ain't never been like that, man.
Yeah.
I've always been a beast. And I called Dre, and Dre came over crying, and he picked me up in his arms, and he took me to the hospital.
Wow.
And he said, I'm gonna kill these motherfuckers. Wake up. I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah.
he whispered, and I ain't got no hair, but he was rubbing my head, and he said, "You're gonna be okay, man. I'm gonna stay with you." And he came and he stayed with me. He brought me fried chicken. He brought from diners. He took care of me, man. I was there a month, and they said he ain't gonna walk. And I got out and I was homeless. I couldn't walk. Dre still took care of me, and he gave me work. So I want to just first of all tell you about his moral fabric as a man, as not as a bodyguard, not as all this put aside, as just a man that came and picked me up in his arms. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
But Dre, I'll never forget that, because he not only gave me dignity, he gave me life. He breathed life into me. And we're not talking about overseas. We're talking about here.
Right here.
Yeah. And we're not talking about he made sure I was okay. He told the doctors, is he okay? He told the nurse, make sure he's okay. And he called me and he made sure it was okay. And
I made sure.
I never thanked you, Dre, but God bless you.
Wow.
And I had a dream. And I was friends with Coop. Me and Coop, I don't want to put his shit in the street, but he already said it last week. We were homeless. We were both homeless and calling each other. I was saying I was homeless in San Bernardino. And that's not a good place to be homeless, as you know. And he was homeless over in South Central. That's not a good place to be homeless at all. We were going back and forth, and but I remember 1973, a fan sent me an article. In 1973, they had all these Indians that came to my city, and I'm half Indian. So I went down, they had an Indian meeting. They said, we're going to have an Indian thing if you want to dress like an Indian. So I came, and the only contest I ever won. They said, you won the bravest Indian. What do you want to do when you grow up? I said, I want to be in a movie with Cynthia Rothrock or Bruce Lee, and I want it to be a Western, and I want to play an Indian like Woody Strode. And everybody went, shit, what's wrong, man? You smoking crack, you on that shit, man. They don't make movies, Westerns, and you know what happened? 64 years. I didn't even have a ride to the premiere, and he took me to Oakland. I was in Oakland in the middle of the night at a soul food restaurant getting turkey tails and stuff. But
we was eating that.
Horrible food. He took me some real vittles, right? Yeah. And then he took me to the thing all the way. He drove me, man.
Wow.
We had fun. We had fun.
Laguna, he came and got me and drove me there, man.
It was fun, man. We had a great time.
And on the way down, we were best friends. On the way back, of course, we were fighting like cats and dogs. But no one ever gets along on the way back.
Never
do, huh?
But anyways,
but people lie to you and say,
I got my dream.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is every veteran out there, I don't care what your dream is.
That's right.
And I have a newspaper article from 1973 to prove it. A fan sent me. They go, you got your dream. And I went, God, thank you. I got my dream. It was that simple. You know who Woody Strode is, right? Woody Strode was a brother, high yellow. He was like 6'6". He was like he had like 10 letters in sports. And he was with Dad Trebago.
What UCLA with Jackie Robinson?
Oh, wow.
He looked like an Indian. He was in 150 Westerns, and ain't nobody knew his name.
No
always played an Indian. Yeah, and he was in the West Indians. I knew him because I wanted to be like him. Because when Woody came on, oh shit, man, Woody would because what's his name? John Wayne would go. What do we do now? And he'd go get the breed. And go get the breed. He knows what to do. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna smash everybody, right? Go get the breed, and the breed was Woody. And Woody would come.
No kidding.
Muscles all built up, high yellow, all like
high yellow brother.
Lotion on him. Looking all like
Shamar Moore looking.
Shamar Moore better. Shamar Moore with muscles. Yeah, Shamar Moore on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. What it was,
You got the Shamar thing with Dozier.
There you go. There you go.
We do. Yeah, you do.
Married 3 times, I think. He's gonna get married 3 times.
I'm gonna tell Shamar too. Says you got twin brothers. It's Farron Dozier.
You know, I'll never forget. On dating side, a girl said, "You remind me of a white Shamar." I went, "Are you blind?" I would get, and I had the Fu Manchu, and she was saying, I thought it was a little more tan. Then she goes, "You look like a white Shamar."
Carl Malden, Street to San Francisco. He had the Carl Malden nose.
Oh, he got my nose. That big old look.
Yeah, that's what he got. The Carl Malden
nose.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Thank you for sharing that story, man. I really appreciate you for being open and sharing that, and the prayer too. Thank you for that.
Now give him the hard question, Farron, the little Kevin. Tell about Kevin.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back in time. You ready? Are you ready? First of all, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you ready? Right. Okay, so we're gonna go back in time. Let's talk about. Tell us who the little Kevin was growing up.
The little Kev.
Little Kev. Who's little Kev growing up?
Well, I'm sorry. I was troubled. I was in trouble and troubled.
Yeah.
So I was the kid in the dunce chair. Like they had me sitting out there, and then the kids would go, "Oh, I'm telling Kevin," and I'd go at him. So the principal goes, "I don't know what to do with you. So I'm going to lock you in the office." So he put me in the office, and I go, "I'm going to die in here. This is going to be a fire or something." And there was nothing in the office but books. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the books were like Nietzsche, Kierkegaard, Irving Washington, and I read all them. And they came in and they said, "Well, what's wrong with you, Mr. Copeland?" I said, "Well, I have the Superman complex from Nietzsche." I go, "And that you can't kill me." And they go, "What is this? Like Goodwill Hunting or something?" And they didn't know I was reading the books because it was my only friends were books.
Wow.
Yeah. And my daddy owned a junkyard.
Okay.
And then from the I feel like Richard Pryor. From the junkyard, he got involved. He don't laugh now. He bought a place called Utopia. He bought a massage parlor. So I grew up between a junkyard and massage parlor.
Wow.
And I'm the only dude in the world. I had a dojo. Junkyard.
Yes.
At the junkyard. You want to see some alley cats. You go to the junkyard and see a dojo, a boxing ring at the junkyard.
Junkyard dog.
Dudes.
Junkyard dog.
That's where the junkyard dog came from, huh?
Junkyard dog. Oh, yeah, remember him? Remember the wrestler? Junkyard dog. I love him. It's Dre. He's the junkyard dog.
We do look a little bit like junkyard.
So what do you think, because this is important. What was going on with the friends? Because we talk about sensible law. You saw some of the stuff you were talking about.
I was bullied and made in front of. So I think, I got into fighting because of that.
No doubt.
The basketball coach said, "I might need you." And I go, "I can't play." And he goes, No. They wanted me to be like Superman. What's dude's name in the NBA? He just follows everybody.
You talking about Dennis Rodman?
Like Rodman? Like Dennis Rodman?
No, it was Rodman, but worse than him. Who's Superman? The guy with the dread.
You talking about now played for the Lakers and
he played for the Heat, the Lakers. He played for everybody. He gets in trouble everywhere.
He had a championship with the Lakers too.
Yeah, he's got a couple.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
Oh, Superman. That's right, Dwight. Yeah.
You know what they say? It's say, "Kevin, don't let him shoot. Punch him, slap him, call their mama names,
whatever."
That's all I did.
On the basketball court?
Yeah, I just push him. And there was one kid named Tewksbury. He's probably watching the show. I hate him. He beat me twice. He beat me in 6th grade and he beat me in 8th grade with that one shot. He went like this, and I went
Tewksbury.
Bushu. And they went,
"Tewksbury, watch out, Tewksbury."
And I go, "You ain't beating me this time." And he came up. It was like a movie, right? And he's ready to shoot and he passes it. And I run after the other guy to slap him, but it's already in the air.
It's already in the air. Oh,
it's already in the air.
He was a poster child.
They used to call me Flagrant. Flagrant. They go, "What's up, Flagrant?"
Bill Lambert.
Yeah, that's Dwight Howard.
Beer Lambert for the Detroit
That's wild.
And then I got into boxing a little bit, and I was kind of good at martial arts, and I went all the way to the Battle of Boston. I met Billy Blanks, and you know what happened then. He got famous and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to fight tournaments, so I went in the underground. That's where I became an underground fighter. That's where I started the Hall
So beautiful nose came from.
Let's go back to the junkyard real quick. If you are open to share, I'd like to find out your ancestors. Like, what brought your family to Boston?
My daddy was Irish. My mom's an Indian from up in Maine, and it's Passamaquoddy and Blackfoot, and there's 3 tribes.
Wow.
There's a Blackfoot Nation. Then there's 3 tribes. Now, one tribe is called Siksika, one's called the Bloods, and one's called the Pagans. Okay. So the Pagans Motorcycle Club and the Bloods adopted their names from the Blackfoot because they're so fierce.
Wow.
Yeah, they're very fierce. So you got the Bloods, the Pagans, and the Siksika. So that's the nation, and that's the tribe. So, and then my mom was Passamaquoddy too. That means people of the fish. So they were very white Indians. They had green eyes, like blue eyes, very light looking, and they weren't war Indians.
Oh, wow.
But when the first Thanksgiving came, matter of fact, the Passamaquoddy said, nah, we ain't going with these. We ain't having dinner with them. We don't know them. We ain't kicking it with them. Yeah. Everybody else said, nah, it's cool. They go, nope, we ain't doing it.
Wow.
They knew it was coming, right?
Wow.
They kind of saw what was coming. So they weren't getting involved in it. And then some Indians were saying, yeah, let them go. And then we'll just raid and kill everybody. So there was all kinds of stuff going on. And
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, and back in the day, you know, it's like, you know, the Indians, like black men were targeted because you had the Mormon militia after us. You had gunfighters after us. You had bounty hunters after us. You had the cavalry after us. You had everybody. What? You had the tribes. Everybody was at. If you're an Indian man, you're a target.
What?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you read, and they don't teach a lot of it in the history books.
No, they leave that out.
There's a great book called The Lies My Teacher Taught Me. When you read that and compare it to like the Trail of Tears and stuff, they don't teach that. They don't teach a lot of stuff. Yeah, they don't teach a lot of stuff. But like they taught like Harriet Tubman. They taught the black version, the white version.
Yeah.
But when the slaves ran away from the mansions, where did they go?
Right.
In the woods. Who's in the woods?
The Indians.
So who helped them out? The Indians. They said, these guys are doing messed up shit. We ain't down with this. We're gonna help them out.
Wow.
And they helped out Harriet. So Harriet. So there was a whole other thing going on where Indians were helping too.
For sure.
So they were. Yeah, and this is they traced the ancestry of the Blackfoot chief, his bloodline, and it was so old that they had to go to Southeast Asia.
No way.
And that puts in line the Bering Strait, that all of us are related. We all have the same blood.
You know, on my grandparents' side, my grandmother's side, their last name came from Creech, which is supposed to be an Indian background. Creech. Creech, I believe it's spelled that way.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know the Cree. I know the Cree. Cree. Dre's a Blackfoot too. And you know, when I did the movie Black Creek, I found out that Benny the Jet Urquidez was also Blackfoot. Yeah, he's also half Blackfoot Indian. Yeah, so I found out. I was telling you that story about how I was out in the cold, and I'm watching the guys fight, and all of a sudden my back, I got a steel rod in my back, and that started hurting like never before. And I started like slowly going down. Everybody goes, "Are you cool?" And I go, "Yeah." And I went, "Oh." And I get down there, and Keith Vitale, you know, he's the #1 point fighter of all time. He goes, "Oh, I got some magic cream, man." I go, "What you got?" He goes, he grabs a little jar, and he goes, "Want me to put it on you?" And I go, "No, I'm cool, man." And he goes, "Well, my wife can." I go, "I don't know about that either. Your wife about that." And this other veteran with Jesse's got a bad leg. He goes, "I got you." And I go, "Okay, I'll let you do it."
Yeah.
He starts rubbing it on, right? And I'm going like, "Is something wrong with me? Because this feels really good." And then I go, "You know what?" He goes, "I'm a Reiki master." And I go, "Wow." So he put it on there, and like in 10 minutes, back in the game.
What?
Back in. Oh yeah, it was back in. And it was so cold that people's faces were twerking, like doing their lines, going. I was watching Cynthia, and it was so cold, and they were fighting in that.
Wow.
Cold. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rothrock movie in Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for those stories. I appreciate you. We're gonna move forward a little bit. What was teenage years like for you?
Oh man, troubled again. Trouble, testing the limits, trouble, and then, I got to court again. As people don't understand that all your homies are in jail. You want to go to jail, when you're young. So they're going. The judge goes, do you want prison or military? I go, I'll take prison. He goes, nope, I'm sending you in the military. And he goes, if you don't go back in 3 weeks, he goes, I'll be coming after you and contempt of court, and you'll be going up for like 10 years or something.
What?
And I joined the military. Yeah. And then from the minute I was in there, I thought I was going to be trouble. But they straightened me out real quick.
Let's talk about that transition. You went from that environment, of course. Now you joined the military. What was that? Was that a culture shock for you?
Oh yeah, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, get up. And I said, fuck that shit. And then what happened.
Of
I
course.
went for my first flying lesson. The bus went up, I went up with it, and I got up and he goes, what the fuck you gonna do? And he was old like Gunny from like Nam or something. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What you gonna do? And I said, nothing. Whatever you say. And then then I don't talk about too much about that, but
yeah,
then
sure.
As we all know, the gas chamber.
Of course. Did you have the snot coming out of your nose? Did you get cleared out?
No, it ain't clear. Everybody puking and shit. It ain't clear. So I kept mine on, and dude came up behind me, old Gunny again.
Yeah.
Pulls it
Snatched
off,
it
pulls
off.
it down to the ground. The whole platoon runs over my back. I'm on the ground, puking, snorting, all that shit. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got me good, bro. And you know what he kept doing right up to graduation? He goes, ready to go to the gas chamber again, Copeland? And I go, no, sir. And he goes, you let me know when you're ready. I'll bring you back in. Yeah, I ain't going in there again, man.
No, that was.
You remember they got you too?
Oh, of course. What I did was I put the mask. We were in line, and I put the mask on, and I sealed it. Right, I sealed it. But then when I breathed out, I felt it come out of the sides, the filters. And I panicked, like, I'm like, wait a minute, is this supposed to come out of the filters? But yeah, it's when you breathe out, yes, but not in. But I breathed out and I felt it, and I'm like, oh shoot! And as soon as I went to break the seal, he snatched us in.
Gotcha.
And so I'm in line, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to seal it again.
Oh man, you got that thing too, that underlying health problem too.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. You went.
But it was funny because they had smoked us that afternoon, so it was burning everywhere. We had no crawled. My neck was burning. My arms was burning, and so now I'm panicking.
Where were you at?
Fort Jackson.
Oh, so you're in a hot one too. Yeah, I was in the middle of summer in Fort Knox.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was tanker school. But
yeah.
Steel and heat.
Yeah.
Southern heat down south.
Southern
heat's different.
Yeah.
You're from down south. He's from Mississippi or something, man. That's a different kind of heat over there.
Yeah.
Different kind of heat. Fort Leonard.
Yeah.
For living in the woods.
Yeah, I got lemonade
on glasses, everything, man. You just go up for half an hour. Even brothers got a tan. Yeah, over in the south. Yeah, everybody gets a tan over there.
Little sticky icky where I was at. Yeah, for you at, and yeah, it's crazy. So Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, Big Dre. You got it.
Yeah, so Kevin, so basically, like you said, going through that your teen years, but then when you transition into almost how many years you do before you transition out?
Oh, military? 2 and 4. When I went in, it was two active, 4 unactive.
4 active.
Okay, Now after that 6th year, what did you start experiencing? You know, it's almost time to either do life, but be a lifer, career based, or make a decision to transition out. How did you feel?
It made a man out of me in the sense that I always, before I do something, it's like my daughter. I always go, wonder if my daughter sees this, or wonder if God sees this, or wonder if another veteran sees this, and and I go, wonder if American people see this, and I'm supposed to be representing them. Maybe I shouldn't do this stuff anymore. Maybe I shouldn't be bad, even if everybody thinks like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to be bad. Maybe I'm going to try to be good. And I tried, that's when I struggled with my demons and I tried to be good.
Yeah.
But then we all know about PTSD.
Yeah.
Like every 3 days. Kevin, you home? I'm be messing with you today. and everybody you know, and everybody's gonna get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is, man. That knock who is it? P? Not who T? Who is it?
Well, like I said at Guitar Center, I used to suffer alone with my music. Now I learn to make other people suffer with me with my music. I send my weird songs and stuff to Dre and my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, you do. I'm like,
and they go, what
it gives me
this?
Is it instrumental? Are you singing or is it instrumental?
You know, I ain't a rap, I ain't a singer, I'm a poet, and I just put music with it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's pretty dope. Yeah, what song is dope?
I got an MPC X.
Yeah,
I got
the old school. The old school.
MPC. Yeah. I mean,
But
you know what created hip hop? MPC. And you know what I did? Before I got into this, I did research. And they took a piece of paper and they put a mound of sand on it and they played orchestral music under it. And the sand formed into a perfect wave pattern. And that's what happens to your brain when you listen to music. It changes the chemicals in your brain. So if you're struggling with severe PTSD, and if you play a little music, I mean, just a little groove box and play a little beat, you might forget about your problems for a while. You might get out of your head and you might get into that music and it might change the chemicals. And
I heard Beethoven cure cancer on somebody.
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
Oh yeah, man.
I can see that. I can see that.
Beethoven. I was like, what? I turned it on the radio. Like, let me play this Beethoven.
No,
that's powerful. You know, like Tartov, they were bombing Czechoslovakia. I think it was Hungary or Czechoslovakia, and he was writing music. He said, I don't care if I'm gonna die. I'm writing a concerto. Wow. Bombs going on around him. He's writing, and that's what I just wanna. I write and I talk about things. Like I got one song. It's called "The Wrong Man at the Right Time." Okay. I got another song. Fucking with me, all these people. I got a naughty one. Then I got
a naughty one. He said he got a naughty one.
A naughty one.
He said I got a naughty one.
I got titles of my own song. Yeah. Then I got a couple sexy ones where I got my groove on. I tried to be like R. Kelly, you know.
Oh God,
that's all sexy and like very white.
He got one. Farron, he got one called Big Dre Stuck in the Bushes.
Oh, you were out on patrol? Yeah. You were out on patrol, huh?
Out on patrol.
Yeah, out on patrol. You know what that means? Going on patrol in the middle of the night. You're going out on patrol.
Yeah.
Did you experience that, Rod, where you had to go on patrol and look around and see things?
No, I was a truck driver, fuel handler, so I did more transportation and supply.
Yeah, but you still had to fight though, man. Casey,
we still had to fight. We trained for it, but no, yeah.
Oh yeah. But like we said, Kevin, now here's the biggest question we ask everybody. When they take you in there, they tear you down. Yeah. They build you back up. But how do you come back from all that combat? When you got on the streets, man, you used to tell me when you got out of the service, you would still have the street combat knowledge in your brain. And then trying to get in the EP stuff we was into, it was hard to transition out. Now you see yourself a killer, and people don't want to hire the killers, not understanding. You don't want to hire the guy who been combat trained because
it's very alarming how many people don't like veterans.
Yeah,
I'll go, hey, I'm a veteran. They'll go,
yeah, baby killer.
When I first tried to get an apartment, they looked at me, and I went to Huntington Beach. I go, I got my voucher, and she said, let me tell you this, Kevin. We have like a certain vibe here.
Oh wow!
They put the white version.
Vibe.
The white version.
I said a certain vibe. Oh, it ain't over. Then I went to the next dude, and he said, "Yeah, we had a guy like that. He was drinking and stuff. And we're trying to, and there's a lot of paperwork I got to do." And I went, "Wow."
Oh no!
You experienced all happy, and they just first set of white version of racism, man. He spent the first reverse part of racism. How we feel going there trying to get that apartment we got, and we work for Apple. We work for Apple. We make 6 digits. Well, I'm sorry, so we have a certain height requirement to move into place. You know what I mean? You
And
experienced
I
that.
don't know if Dre told you, but like there was a problem, my family, so I went to go live. The only family who take me in was a black family, and it was during busing during the 70s. So I went to go live with a black family. So I really got an education quick. I thought I faced hatred, and it went a different level. It went down levels. So yeah. Then I became like a race trader, and we don't want you here, and we don't want you there, and where are we going to bus him to? What are we going to do with this one? We don't know what to do with him.
Wow.
Them. I wasn't even a boy. It was him or them or they, or So
See, that's that sense of belonging that we talk about, right? That we as a society, we label one another these colors and demographics or whatever that is, and it desensitizes us from being that human connection.
Right.
Like that hurts. We don't realize that that's what's hurting us today. The labeling of one another.
I remember me and Dre, we put all our weapons and stuff, and his girlfriend looked at us. She goes, "Y'all had a bad childhood. You had childhood trauma. You got to get rid of it." And I looked at her and I went, "She's right.
She's right, right?
You're right.
She's right, man.
Wow.
He had a knife, and he's called me Two Shanks. I got 2 Shanks, and
2 chains, and
Kevin
go out with all
2 Shanks for.
Yeah, butterfly. Yeah, butterfly knives,
butterfly knives and shit. I got shit all over me.
It was crazy.
Right? And I'm ready to rock and roll, right? But there ain't no concert going on. You know what I mean? So yeah, you tell
you just on standby. You ready to go? You on standby.
Well,
we mean killing machine, baby.
Yeah, here's the story. Here's the story. I'm gonna tell the story because it's more symbolized. I tell the story for real.
Okay.
Kevin said we go. So here he is, the Peterson Museum. Everybody's aware of the Peterson Museum.
Yeah.
I get a call one day from a client, very well-known client, Corey Feldman from the Goonies. I get a call. A woman by the name of Miss, I think her name was Gretchen Peterson. She was the widow of Mr. Peterson Auto Museum. So apparently she get money stolen from her, lots of money. So they had to hire some people to go spy on her. I don't know if it's alleged granddaughter or a niece and her boyfriend. So they sent me and Kevin up in the hills overlooking by Lake Los Angeles Reservoir. We all stoked. You got 10-speed brown shoes. Remember that? You got 10-speed brown shoes, Starsky Hutch. we pull out.
Here's a baby blue Sean John on, right? Like, Dre, they're walking by you. They're walking by you. I said, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
And jump.
And he walks right by him. He goes, Kevin, they're walking by you. Hide on the floor.
No. What he does, he tells me, Farron, he said, jump in the sticker bush. It's a sticker bush that has 55,000 thorns, right? So I get the sticker bush. I'm stuck in there. I can't move. It's sticker bush in my butt and everywhere. Every part of my body is stickers in it. So I'm like, I can't move. Kevin, then close your eyes and coming by.
You kookaburras all over his clothes.
I was all messed up. I had you drunk the water. I was leaking out water. My whole body had holes in it. I said, I'm stuck in it like about 10, 15 minutes. I'm stuck. Kevin, I'm on radio now. I can hear him in my ear, but I can't move. The dude smoking a cigarette by me between my legs. I'm like this, just stuck. And he said, close your eye. They can't see you. I close my eye like a fool. And then he walk around, he like literally right. Kevin said, he's right in front of you. He's right. Like, I'm hearing my ear like, okay, what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna say, you move. Don't breathe. I gotta hold my breath. I'm like, I can't breathe as it is now.
Then we had the ensue chase with a Honda SUV.
Yeah, SUV is the Honda. The Honda is almost on the last leg. It's on his last leg. Honda's last leg. I mean, it's burning oil, everything.
burning oil too.
They got like a Ferrari. We got this beat up hood car with a bullet hole in the door. They had a bullet. Remember, Dre? There's a bullet hole in the door. He goes, "What's this, man?
What the fuck is Kevin?
Is that work?"
Right. We probably be surveillance expert. We surveillance expert in a beat up car looking like some Huggy Bear shit on Starsky Hutch. and we like, I'm telling Kevin, I said, I can't move. I got 8,000 bullet stickers in my body. I'm bleeding out with smaller holes. I said, Kevin, what in the hell just happened? He said, all this time, because we were in the house at first. And they came home. And he said, Jay, he said, abort. I did a spin move like a Starsky and Hutch. Remember SWAT?
Oh yeah, that
the
was a good
original
one.
SWAT?
My favorite
I
shows.
I did a spin move
Starsky and
of SWAT
Hutch.
of the
Yeah,
70s.
man.
And I did a move, and he said, jump in the bushes. I said, I'm doing what? I said, but it's spiders.
He's
Everything.
sticky, but
I just bagged up.
He came over. He goes, it ain't funny, man. I go, what? He goes,
Man.
look at this shit.
He behind the car laughing his ass off, but he'll and radio telling me, "Don't move, close your eyes."
And what year is this?
Oh man, it's like 2000, about 2000,
Yeah, it's
3, 4.
Oh
I'm
my
like, just
God.
into my Black Eyed Peas era. When I was touring with, I'm with Corey Feldman, off and on. I'm laughing at Kevin. Kevin said, "Let's take the gig, man." She paid well, but Kevin said, it wasn't worth me having 4,000 stickers in my ass. But it was interesting. And I told Kevin, just the stuff I got to deal with post-traumatic stress syndrome. We got 2 guys with PTSD kicking in. I'm like, and now I have nightmares about stickers, but it's still all these years. I said, my girls, what's that big mark? That's
Another
that
time
sticker
with Corey,
bust in my ass.
we'd chase a pimp. We'd chase a pimp out of his house and like
Yeah,
a
pimp out
felon,
the
and
house,
it's like the
everything.
village people, but the
Yeah,
nefarious
crazy.
village people. We had to chase them out of there, and oh my god.
So that's
Great.
the thing military people do when we try to get back in society. If I was saying people, it's hard to get back in society. So Kevin knew. I said, man, this what happened, man. It just meant we was like really stuck on who we really was back in the service. We'd be killing people. Yeah. We would have no hesitation.
I found it a
cut
Hall of
the
Fame.
boom. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you about the Hall of Fame. He was my first recipient
in 2018.
Him and Nico the Dragon Hill.
Yes.
Now, these names don't mean much to you, but these are underground legends like Maverick, Nico the Dragon Hill. You know, these guys at Mad Dog Massey, these guys are punched it out, dude.
Kimbo Slice,
Kimbo Jr. Yeah, these guys smacked it out.
No idea.
I mean, I even tried to put that, and he goes, "I ain't being nowhere with this Kimbo." And they all hate each other.
Yeah. Crazy.
So it's go.
Yeah.
You know, make you an
this year. It's in Detroit. This year
we're going to Detroit. Everybody goes, "Why are you going to Detroit?" I go, "So you won't." Only people.
Black superhero.
And I told everybody, just to say, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna, after the show, I'm walking down Detroit. I'm gonna take my shirt off and I'm walking through downtown Detroit by myself. Almighty Whitey. I'm walking through, just to prove everybody it's safe.
It's safe for you.
That's why PTSD. That's why he need to take his medicine before he go down there. And I can't.
I didn't take my medicine today.
Let me get him a Comigo device.
I told him, man. I said,
I need that breathing thing. You know that thing.
I'm gonna get you a Comigo. I'm gonna get you a Comigo device for sure.
Yeah, so who did, man. So I thank God, man. It's like,
can you get a family deal on that, Farron? They give you like all of us.
Yeah,
I might give you mine.
I know. Yeah, man.
Farron's is so good. He's got his pimped out. He's got the new knobs on it, and he's got his name on it and everything. Right.
I might just give you mine.
But I tell you what I do, Kevin. In this situation where you're saying, so who is Kevin Copeland now? Besides,
like I said, what I really want to do, you know, a lot of guys have dreams and this and that. I want to get a bus with you two guys, a couple buses, maybe 3 buses, and I want to go to the VA, and I want to pick up veterans, and I want to put them on the bus, and I want to bring them to Olive Garden. And I want them to order whatever they want. And then I want to bring them to the mall and buy them an outfit and give them a hug and tell them I love them.
What do call it? Pick up event.
Bring them back and say, I'm going to come back here next week or next month when we can afford it again. We're going to take you back.
Let's go. Let's go.
You want to go with me?
I do it.
Okay, we're all going. We're all going.
We call it pick up event. Just go the big old event, pick them up. And
if we ain't doing that, we're going to go find some poor kids that are going to grow up just to be a felon because their mom's strung out, their dad's beating them up, they're getting bullied. Some of them can't even go to school today. You know why? Right. They ain't got no food. I've had no food. Dre's had no food. You've had no food. And we're veterans. And that's a damn shame because no one should go hungry in this country. Yeah. Especially a veteran.
All these billionaires.
A child that wants to go to school and that wants to become something and wants to learn, but they can't because they got nowhere to study.
See, Kevin, this is why this is important, because people don't understand the complex post-traumatic stress disorder that we grew up as children, as you're pointing out. How do you expect me as a child to focus in class when I'm worried about, am I going to eat to dinner tonight? I got to walk through these gangs.
Well, my mom's turning the trick and she's getting beat up, and I'm going to have to fight you.
Yeah. Talk about disappointment and shame and embarrassment, and you want me to pay attention in class?
Yeah. I don't have money for lunch money, and people are making fun of me and bothering me and making fun of me, and they want to fight me after school because I ain't got no money to eat. Or they came up and some bully came up and took my dessert. And they won't do nothing to him because his parents put money into the school.
Thank you.
You can't mess with
I'm
him.
supposed to be able to focus all day and do my math and homework and science.
Right. How you going to focus?
How you focus?
You can't focus.
You can't.
You know what happens? You turn out, you grow up and someone says, hey, man, you want to do this for some money? You need money. And you go, okay. And you turn into a felon. Because I hate to say it, but people go, you always got options. No, some people don't have options.
Well, what I want to say about there, if anybody listening up there, if anybody got an old van or some van that they're not really using, we'd love to take these vets, like Kevin said, we would call it pick up the vet for a day and do something with it, give a haircut.
Man, that's
make it look good, man, because we need to see where we at with these veterans. Because I think what our president is doing wrong is not putting somebody over the vets and saying, look, let's monitor these vets.
I want to bring him to the VA, him and Elon Musk. You know what? Once you get one of your e-trucks, like 3 or 4 of them over here, and pick some of these guys up that saved your life.
Because without us, you would have the freedom to say the things you say now. I'm about to tell you all the time. You talk all that crap. If it wasn't World War I, II, and all these wars, you would have the right to say the hell you stuff the hell that's about your mouth. Any citizen would have that right because of vets.
It's a big distraction. They're distracting us over here so they can do something over here.
Thank you. Exactly.
They're jabbing over here so the right can come down the pike and this can come here, and then you're not going to know what hits you.
Exactly. No, we see that. All right, let me take a break. This is the Farron Dozier Show, Trench Talk edition with Big Dre. Kev is here sharing his heart out, ladies and gentlemen. We thank those of you in the comments. Aaron Cooper is out there. Said $1 million. They're probably looking for a new location. Shouts out to him. We got another one that says Crazy MF Crew says so true what you were talking about.
Crazy MF Crew. Oh. Wow, that's great.
And I saw this one.
Crazy motherfucking crew.
I saw this one earlier. Let me go bring this one back. This was earlier. He said, Kev, no sandwich.
No sandwich. Yeah, Eric, you know you're talking about. Yeah.
No, I'm at the Dragon Fest, right?
No. Tell him at the break. Tell him at the break. After the break. After the break.
Again, thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back. Zetovia salve, made from natural and organic ingredients, good for inflammation, poor circulation, hemorrhoids, yeast infection, lip sores, dry coughs, eye pain, minor cuts and bruises, and ready to purchase at botanicaherbalco.com. 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 This is Farron from the Farron Dozier Show, 8 p.m. Pacific Time on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind, and MBR Radio. That's right, MBR Radio on all their streaming platforms, including MBR Radio on Roku TV, Sunday nights live, 8 p.m. Pacific Time on KCAA Radio and MBRradio.us. The Farron Dozier Show. For more information, search farrond.com. Tune in to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAAradio.com website on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Brought to you by Sports Collective TV, Sports Collective Radio, and Sports Collective Media. We got the Heme Factor, we got In the Zone, and we got Fourth Down and the 20-second Timeout Sports segment. All for you right here on the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAAradio.com website with my guest hosts Robert Lamar and Coach Will. Catch us on Sports Collective Media on Instagram and Facebook. And make sure you watch us Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on KCAA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAAradio.com website. music, talk, sports, and so much more on the Farron Dozier Show.
My name is Ann Halley. I am the CEO and founder of the Rhabdomyolysis Foundation. I founded the organization in 2022 in an effort to support survivors and fund medical-related research. If you're interested in getting involved with our organization, you can visit our website at therhabdofoundation.org. You can sign up as a volunteer, or you can support our organization by donating directly on our website. And all proceeds will go to support survivors and medical research.
Do you remember studying sickle cell in biology class? What's the Count on Sickle Cell Trait Prevention is here to bring you awareness, education, and prevention conversations around the risk factors of this inherited gene. Visit wdconsct.org. All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show, Trench Talk Edition. Having a blast here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a few more minutes left. We're going to talk more to Big Dre, and Kevin is here. Again, if you want to be a guest, hit me up at Farron Dozier. If you want more information about sickle cell trait, go to wdconsct.org. Again, farrond.com if you want to be a part of the event tomorrow night for veterans and their families, or just anybody. You know, this conversation about shattered thoughts, I mean, it's been spoken here even. There's a lot of things that go on with us as children. And as parents, we ask that you take time to listen and pay attention to your child. It is very important. You don't have to be hard and tough. You know, we see that you are having troubles as an adult, right? But again, as children, we don't understand what it is to be an adult. So our perception is different than yours, right? But I'm saying include the child. We focus on father-son relationships, mother-son, father-daughter, but I'm focusing on that child to parent perspective, perception, the interpretation of us as children. A lot of my childhood stuff that I dealt with in my 30s and 40s when I discovered it was all from some corrupted views that I had about my parents, about how I grew up, about my environment. That wasn't the truth. It was my truth, but it wasn't the truth. And I didn't figure that out till I was till 40. So imagine if we can have these principles, these foundation skills, teach these conversations, teach our children not what to think, but how to think. We're all used by some principle. We're all used by some belief system. And sometimes those belief systems are so corrupted that it causes us to experience life in a space of disappointment, shame, and embarrassment. And most recently, I'm 55. Just turned 55 a few weeks ago. And at 54, I discovered that I was living avoiding shame, embarrassment, and disappointment since 2 years old. 2 years old. Now, how can a 2-year-old have an experience of shame, embarrassment, and disappointment? Well, guess what? Find out how powerful your brain is. When you understand brain science, that brain is making up stories. It's giving meaning to life every moment. And if we as parents don't fill that information up with which as much truth as we can give that child at those younger ages, guess what? I'm going to make up my own story about you, and then that becomes my truth. And everything that you tell me after that, nope, I'm not going to believe you because I have proof. I feel it in my body, and I've already made up a story that's defining who you are now. Whether you don't love me, where you don't care about me, where you abandoned me, whatever that is, you disappointed me. Parents, we do disappoint our children. We do. And you have to be able to allow that child to have a conversation with you so that renews their heart and it connects them back to you. They tell you you're not listening to them. They tell you what's going on with them. But do you listen? And at the end of the day, all my parents wanted for my life to turn out. They did the best they could with what they had at such a young age, having me in the 70s. But I didn't understand that as a child. I didn't understand that because I'm a child. My perception of time, I didn't have any. Some of us are emotional children. So we talk about mommy, daddy issues and we talk about all this stuff. Yeah, those are real. But I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk from it so people can look in their own life and figure out what's going on with them. It impacts us. It costs us. It costs you your health, It costs you your affinity for people. It costs to act the way we act. We know how we act, but what's in the way? And sometimes it's I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, and you give into hopelessness, despair. From despair, you get to self-loathing. And mine to myself was, why bother? Why even bother? Why am I even here? And for us, our veterans, brothers and sisters, 1 every 65 minutes takes their life. 1 every, they say 22 a day. We know that number is low. But they say now 1 every 65 minutes, a veteran, male or female, completes their life a day. And we are part of that community. We know what we went through. We can relate to our brothers and sisters. And for some of us, it's challenging. These transitions are challenging. You've heard some stories. A lot of veterans come out. They can't get good jobs. They're not accepted. So they create, they go to mayhem, all kind of stuff. And then get in trouble with the law. So these are the things, that we talk about here on Trench Talk. If you want to be a guest, again, just hit me up at Farron Dozier. We talk about more than that too, though. There's more to life than that, but that's the basis of this conversation, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, right? We all have a spirit. What is your spirit looking for, and what is your heart looking for? Your subconscious mind. And sometimes some of the things that we've downloaded in our hearts, it's corrupted, it's misinformation. And how do we fix that? How do we correct that? It's not what you do. We're human beings, not human doings. So we think we got to do something. But if you're doing it frustrated, guess what your experience of your life is going to be? Frustration. But I say, who are you going to be first? Spiritually, we talk about it from the Bible. We talk about the fruit of the Spirit. We talk about the Beatitudes. Jesus Christ was an example of who he was with people, his character, not just his miracles, his works, but who he was in his ways. And so we practice being his ways: kindness, love, patience, perseverance, charity. Charity is not always about your money. Sometimes charity is about your time. Giving your time is very important too. All right. So I thank you for listening so far. If you got comments out there, let us know. We're going to get right back into it. I'm going to leave Big Dre down there, man. I want you to speak freely, man. What do you want to say so far before I bring up Big Dre?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What do you want to say before I bring up Big Dre? Anything you want to share so far?
I want to really thank you for what you're doing, because you put a lot of depth and a lot of soul into it. And a lot of people just go on there and they talk about a lot of stuff I don't even know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, to find someone that actually wants to help people, you know what I mean? That really truly wants to help people, because a lot of people say they do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. And I was writing a song about loneliness, and I go, there's loneliness, and loneliness there's a void of someone that could be there, but they're not there. Emptiness is there's no one there. But there's one more I found. That's when you're with someone you love and they make you feel like you're alone. That's the worst one.
Yeah.
That's the worst one.
Yeah.
That's the worst one I could find.
I appreciate you saying that, because in that conversation, I had to do my own work around that, because
Sounds like you were there.
I had lonely and alone collapse together because they felt the same.
Yeah. And then the emptiness came in, and then you said, I'm going to treat my loneliness with isolation.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to treat my loneliness with isolation. I'm going to isolate myself from people. And that's
because clearly there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. I don't belong. I'm on my own. And we have proof. And we grew up with proof of those episodes. And so what does the brain do? The brain is memory patterns. So it's remembering all those times. Oh, yeah, no, this is that same time. Remember that one time? Yeah, that's what this is right now. And we think that we're about to be alone again.
I founded a Hall of Fame, have a beautiful girlfriend half my age, and I'm in a movie, and I hate myself.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
Exactly.
I look at myself and I go, I hate you. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I know why now.
Yeah.
Because of what I was taught. And I listened. You can't, any veteran, you can't listen to other people. You can't compare yourself to other people.
Oh, that's
you can't say, well, Mr. Brown. No, you can't compare yourself to them. You can't compare yourself to another parent. And you know, I'll tell you one thing. I went out for a job, an audition one day, and there were 20 men in there. They were all alley cats. And they said, the director said, what's the worst thing you've been through? And I stood on the end because I wanted to hear him. This guy, I went to Vietnam, I went to prison, and I didn't know what to say. He goes, what's the worst thing you went through? I go, family court. And he went, you're hired. Yeah. And I went, wow, really?
Yeah.
Family court, because you're not hanging in the balance. Your child is hanging in the balance.
Yes.
And they don't always, you know, I love what Richard Pryor said. There's no justice. There's just us.
Yes.
There's just us. Yeah. Sometimes when justice isn't served for you, and you have to be on the other end of justice.
Yeah.
You have to take it. You know, the first thing we want to default to is anger and rage.
Yeah.
But your strength is in your silence, because a silent dude, he's planning what he's going to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just going,
I got that.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah. That's what's going to, okay. Yeah. He's just, so there's strength in silence. That's what I had to learn, instead of mayhem and anger and fighting. And, you know, I was the worst. I'm guilty of it really bad. And I had to.
You're not by yourself.
I had to look at myself and say, you know what? I wonder what someone else is doing right now. Not only me. I wonder what they're really going through.
Right.
And then, you know, I like to say a couple producers, I won't mention the name, but one of their dads was in the Battle of Normandy.
Okay.
They just picked our guys off, right? I wasn't there, but it was pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Right. And my other producer said, well, since you're being on a veteran show, my dad was a veteran too. And he was in a submarine at 17 years old in the 60s. And he couldn't even stand up. He had to walk like this. It was that level. And at any time they know they want to take him out. And you know, in the sub, you ain't got nowhere to go. Nowhere to run to, homie. You're lights out.
Our Navy
and
brothers
the fear at 17 years old,
right,
that you must have lived in every night. For me, God bless you.
That's a different life. That's a different life.
That's that's what made America America.
Exactly.
And nobody can take that away.
I want to touch on the justice. As parents, a lot of times that's why divorce is such an impactful experience for the child, because sometimes the child blames himself too in that divorce.
The child always
blames themselves, and then they have to pick, or they don't get a choice of what parent they might want to go live with dad. They can't go live with dad because mom wants them to come with them, and so there's so much that goes on, and that's why I'm an advocate for our childhood experiences. Because
the worst thing too is parent assassination. When they assassinate the other parent.
Yeah.
And you know, you got to remember something, because they go, oh, bitch, you know what? You came from a woman and your baby came from a woman.
Yeah.
And as much as I dislike the mom, she gave me the most beautiful thing I ever had.
It didn't start out like that.
And I was a single dad.
Yeah.
And I suffered.
Yeah.
I suffered. I really did. But in the end, look what I got. Look at it. Look at it. Beautiful. I got beautiful friends. I ended up in a movie with my idol.
Yeah.
When's that happen? I came from the gutter, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I did it, 7 years ago, I was in Bloomington. I was sitting I don't drink. I've been sober 22 years.
Hey.
And you can be outside and be a drug addict. You don't have to use, though. You don't have to use.
Right.
You don't have to go back. I don't care how bad it gets. I ain't going back.
Yeah.
Because I know how bad it was.
Thank you.
I ain't going back there.
And
because
for you to share that, right? For you to share that with others so they can realize
It can get worse, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go, oh, what could get? It can get worse.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, you're one bad day away from being me. One bad day.
Yeah.
One bad day, it could all go wrong. You could end up.
Big Dre, you ready? I want you to come back and
Big
share.
Dre, get in here.
Man. You ready? I know there was a story to tell. What's
Man,
up, Big Dre?
Look, before we end this,
Got me blowing my eyes all over veterans, man.
See, before we end this not a tragedy. I've been talking to Coop,
Yeah.
on the loop, and he was telling about stuff. And but the sandwich thing, Ken, I said, Kevin, you got to talk about the sandwich thing. We get on.
Yeah. So I'm at the Dragon Fest. The Dragon Fest is a gathering of martial artists, right? And I got Kimbo Slice's son there, and the Dada 5000 is supposed to show up. So we're there, and nobody knows about bare knuckle fighters. They're like, who are these guys, man? These bunch of thugs, goons, right? So, anyways, I'm sitting there, I'm representing. I founded this Hall of Fame, and all of a sudden, I see Ron Van Cleef, the Black Dragon. And little Mikey's with me. Mikey's this chubby kid, and he's Fufu's son, my drummer for the Temptations. I used to bodyguard for him, so he's my friend.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't care about the Black Dragon. I want a sandwich. I said, a sandwich. That's the Black Dragon. Ron Van Cleef goes, I don't care about the Black Dragon. I want a sandwich. And Coop looked at me and goes, hey, get the fucking kid a fucking sandwich, will you? And Ron Van Cleef looks at me and goes,
story,
sandwich, will you? And I go get a sandwich. He goes,
get a boy a sandwich.
I'm hungry.
you know Coop. You met Coop.
Yeah.
Hey, forget about it. Get the guy. Get the
So he
sandwich.
always calls him and he goes, hey, where's my fucking sandwich?
So that's the sandwich story.
That's the sandwich.
That was you.
I'm looking at the Black Dragon. Black cinema. Whoa,
yeah.
That's the Black Dragon, Ron Van Cleef.
Yeah.
I don't care about Black Dragon. Memory serves well. 2018, if memory serves well. That's cool.
He wants a sandwich, brother. He wants that sandwich now.
I want a sandwich. So we have veteran T-shirts on the website. I don't want to forget because Mark will kill me.
Go ahead.
Veteran T-shirts on. If you go to the Bare Knuckle and Bodyguard Hall of Fame, which Dre is a legendary member of.
Yeah.
And Ron Van Cleef will be joining us. So will Cooper, and so will you. Yeah,
Detroit.
We go after warriors, and we don't go after guys who wear gloves. We don't go after guys who like pretty trophies. We don't go after guys that have referees and wait.
Yeah.
No.
How we pick
We
them.
get down all the way.
You got to pick
right here.
Kevin had a different way of picking the boxers, but I wanted to pick the bodyguards the way they deserve to be picked because the executive protection. You graduate. We graduated. We was once bodyguards. We turned to EP specialists. We got a little bit different.
Yeah.
Said God willing.
Security specialist and executive protection level 3.
We don't do that like a little making $50 an hour. We're 1,000 a day kind of things or 10,000 a week.
We
those
go.
Kind of things.
Yeah.
So
we go up.
Now Madonna, we average $100,000 a year, and we didn't do half of the stuff most people do.
Wow. He sent me to a Dallas Cowboy superstar. He goes, I gotta go. He goes, I got robbed twice. I gotta go to some.
Yeah.
He goes, I gotta go.
Shout out to Orlando.
He goes, are you law enforcement or are you military? And I said, I'm military. He goes, you can stay.
Wow.
And he says, I'm worried about my wife, and his wife is one of the prettiest women in the world.
Wow.
Most desired.
We can say name.
Wait for the boogeyman.
Dre Michelle.
Is he coming?
That's my wife.
He wasn't coming.
Yeah. And I was
the
out of
boogeyman. It was an inside job, but that's another story.
So this is
But
why
Dre would send me on the gigs he wouldn't go on.
Always.
Remember that crazy dude down there, the cops came and we all
always.
Dre's like, Kev, got something for you, Kev. I got something for you, Kev.
Exactly. You know,
Dre,
brother,
we like shot by the police.
I'm smoking this fat cigar. Send Kevin.
Kevin.
Who are you?
Is that Charlie? Is that Charlie? Was you Charlie?
Yeah, exactly. I said send Cobra in. Okay, I'm gonna do Cobra. We're sending
the wolf.
Send a wolf in, man. I said, there you go, Black Wolf. There you go. That was a Blackfoot wolf.
Ray goes, I'm out of town, man. Go handle this.
Yeah,
This guy's really mentally ill and he's high on meth. He goes, go do your thing.
Yeah, I was on a scuba diving expedition. I'm Bonaire, and Drea was, and she was broadcasting live from Mexico.
Yes,
but
Drea,
didn't realize
Pussycat Doll. That's who I was guarding, bro.
No. That was it's Drea from Basketball Wives.
Basketball.
I was with the Pussycat Dolls, Kaya Jones. That's what I was with. I went to India and everything on tour. But the problem was I couldn't trust nobody. That's why I was telling them. You don't hire a body. You can't hire bodyguards and stuff to do anything. That's why I tell you, in the Hall of Fame, anybody just can't be in the Hall of Fame. It's a brotherhood. You got to earn those stripes, man. You got to philanthropist work, volunteering
work earned.
Everybody got big bodies. Because I'm gonna tell you, the late great good friend of mine, Mark Clark Duncan, told me. The late great said, Drake, I'm gonna talk just like he talked. He said, boss. That's how he would talk. He said, I just got to the biggest movie part of my life. Is the Green Mile. Huge. He had to gain 50 pounds for that. What killed Michael is his weight. They kept making him go up in weight, down in weight, go up in weight. My Clark Duncan, all that.
Oh yeah.
Muscle.
That's too bad.
He was 430.
A lot of people don't know, but he was in the car with Biggie when they got shot.
Yeah,
he was in the car. A lot of people don't know about that. I shouldn't say anything, but
let me tell you the story.
I don't want to get smoked.
Hold on. Let me tell you the story. He told me that life is what we make of it. There's a chance and there's a choice we have in life every single day. When you get up in the morning, that was your chance. God gave you another chance to get up in the morning. And what you make of it every day, it's up to you as individuals. So what I tell these servicemen and women, every day you make it to another day, there's your chance right there.
Amen.
To try to make a mark in the world. So I tell these executive protection guys, don't go out there thinking you Superman with a gun. It's not about a gun and Superman. It's about you getting that client out of harm's way. So that's why I train all my guys to do that. So my company I co-founded now is F6 Consulting Group.
You know what's amazing about Dre? He didn't have to use a gun, man.
Never did.
Seen him. I remember we were in Hollywood. This guy was cracked out of his mind. He came up, he goes, wait a minute, hold up. And he says, I'm the mayor of Hollywood. I thought he was real. He was cracked out with his suit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I said, oh, dude, you're going to get it, man. You messed this whole. And I go at, and Dre goes, no. And the guy goes, he goes and talks to Dre, and then he says, I'm going to go have a cigarette with a real man. And you guys are amateurs. I should just close this whole thing. He was a crackhead. He wasn't even real. And Dre always calm people down. Yeah,
I was a Dalton. I was a Dalton in Roadhouse.
Yeah. He's the cooler.
It's the cooler.
I'd clean him, but he'd cool him. He'd say, dude, you know what?
And I had to do no martial arts skills. I'd had to do none of that stuff to prove that to anybody because
he would say, you want to go out the front door or the back door?
Back door. It's up to you, man. And then for Michael
they'd go, the back door, you might fall, you might trip, you might hit you, you might get lost.
And you know, Nico the Dragon.
You might end up on a TV show. If you go through the front, I'm going to hug you, put you in an Uber, and you're going to be cool.
Yeah.
If you go through the back, though, you don't know what's going to happen, bro.
This is my last hoorah I say before we end the show.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, I'm going to tell you brothers right now, and Cooper is listening, everybody listening. We have a bloodline of generations where we at. When it comes to our kids, you're a single dad with daughters of Farouk. He's a single dad, a female. I was a single dad with sons. What we do with our kids is teach them the evolution of how it is to be, how this world's going to end up. Yeah. We know how the world's going to end. If you read your Bible, you know how the world's going to end. It's not going to end in water, it's going to be in fire. So we tell our kids
it's already happening.
Live life the way, according to the way you want to live it. We can't live for our kids.
Right.
All we do is be good parents. When your kid grew up to be a serial killer or murdering people, you say to yourself, what did I do wrong as a parent? You did absolutely nothing wrong. He let their world get a hold of him. A world of deception, a world of damnation, and a world of Lucifer. That's what got to get a hold of your kid. So it's not your fault. So remember that, gentlemen. When you think that one of them days you wake up and say, I'd have failed my daughters. No, you ain't. You ain't failed your daughter. No, she get 18 years old.
I'm glad you said that, Dre, because I feel like that.
It's true. All those sins are her sins now. When you're 18 years old, God reversed them sins. They go back to them kids now.
It's up to that child. That's why we're trying to catch these children now so they can reconcile their life back before they turn into that.
That's my final
word. You don't rehabilitate them when they're 50.
Yeah. Thank you, Big Dre. Thank you for saying that.
man.
That is so
Yeah.
important. I mean, I'm on the prayer line at my church in the mornings, and and people are praying for their children. I'm like, you know what? Look at the prodigal son. Like, even in the midst of all of what that passage talks about, that one day in that pig pen, he came to himself. And that's all we can pray for, is that child for one day to come to themselves and realize, I got to get my life together.
Yep.
Right.
Those not sin, cast the first stone. I tell you about it.
You know what it says by St. John of the Cross?
What
It
does
says
it
if
say?
a man truly wants to know what road he treads on, he must first close his eyes and walk in the dark.
Yep. Amen to that. All day.
We're walking,
Now,
we're walking in the dark.
Kev,
God's our light. Yeah, and we keep walking.
thank you, man, for hanging out today, man. This was nothing but a pleasure, bro. I thank
You're
you
a class
so much
act,
for sharing
man.
your story.
You're a class act.
Where can they find you at, Kevin? Where can we find you at?
Yeah,
where can
give
we
us
find
some.
the website at? Where can we
Oh
find
yeah,
the
there's
website
veteran
at?
T-shirts on with the Bare Knuckle and Bodyguard Hall of Fame. Please post it up, Dre. Dre's one of our legendary inductees. Was our first inductee. Matter of fact, I hope you don't sue me, but it was kind of Dre's idea.
Yeah.
He said, "What about bodyguards, man? You're a bodyguard. You did a lot of time as a bodyguard." I go, "Nah," and he goes, "No, man. You gotta these. There's guys that go to work and they never come back. They just disappear, Farron. They go in the underground and they never hear from them again. I got 3 buddies, and then I got a buddy who fought in the underground, and he was killed by another buddy of mine, and they were best friends.
That's right.
Try living with that. You killed your friend.
Yeah.
And
he got inducted. He a pastor now.
And he's a pastor. It made him become a pastor. It hurt him.
One of my mentors too. One of my mentors. He taught me the game in the nightclub business. Him and Mike Clark Duncan. He was my mentors. In the
legend.
Game.
Nico the Dragon, legend. Toughest guy, man.
I have him on the show soon. We'll give him a show. We'll have him on the show.
Kev, that's for you. Kev, that's for you by Coop.
Yeah, by Coop.
Who said thank you for that prayer, man, and brought him to tears, man. He love you for that.
Got your voice, I love you, Coop. I love you, Coop. I love you, Coop.
So yeah, website, right? You tell the website, Kev. We've
been through a lot, not together. We were on the phone, but we went through. He goes, "Man, you won't believe but my car broke down, man. Now I got no car." I go, "Mine did too." It's like every day something happened, and we just held each other like glue. Yeah. And then he said, "Dude, you need to go to the VA and get some help." And they got him a home. They got me an apartment. Yeah. So you know what? That's what I want to end this with.
Yes. Go ahead.
Don't give up, man. Go get. I said, you know what? They tried to kill me at the VA, and we all got that story. Yeah. How they let us down. You know what? Okay, but they still care. Yeah. They still care. There's someone there that still cares. You got to find that someone. Yeah. There's someone there that cares. Don't give up. Don't say I ain't going there no more. No, you can't give up, because the powers that be want you to give up. Yeah. They want you to quit. Yes. They want you to quit. So they don't have to serve you. That's it. So you can't give up. You have to give it another chance. And I remember what my commander told me. He said, "They ain't no one coming, man." I go, "What do you mean? They're coming?" He says, "They ain't coming, man. Right. You got to get yourself out of this shit." Yeah. Copeland, he goes, "If you don't, you're going to die here. Yeah. You're going to die here by your fucking self." Yeah. So they ain't coming for you. You got to get yourself out of that room, man. I mean, if you're listening to me, you might go, "Well, he had better luck than me." No, I didn't, man. I didn't have better luck than you. I asked Dre. He suffered with me. We suffered alone. We did some stuff we can't talk about. Yeah. Yeah. And then you did too. We all did.
I want to say, for my veterans as well, I did a lot of personal development stuff in the beginning, led me back to some church. I did some grievance classes when my dad passed away, but the one education that really helped me was the CBT, cognitive behavior, at the VA. And that was at the VA. And I want to tell you, that education helps you grab your thoughts and put them through that curriculum, and you'll discover how exaggerated our subconscious mind talks to us. You can't use words like all, always, and all the time, and you never do this and you never do that, and she never. You can't use those words.
I learned one thing: the devil doesn't have horns, and he ain't red with warts all over him. He's got big boobies. He's got a round ass. He's got a nice car. He's got a
Thank
beautiful
you.
condo, and he's
Thank
saying, "Come
you.
on, move on in with me.
Thank
Come
you.
on in.
Thank
I got you, Kevin. I got
Thank
you,
you.
Dre. I got you.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to give you
That's what it
everything
is.
you ever wanted.
Yeah.
Everything
Just
your heart
bow
desires.
down to me.
All you got to do is
Just
give
bow
me your
down to
soul.
me.
And
That's
Lagma
it.
comes, you go to the crossroads, and you make a deal.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
So I suggest cognitive behavior for my veteran brothers and sisters. Cognitive behaviors offered through the VA.
Did you do MDMR? Did you do
No.
that? The lighting thing?
No,
I
no.
went to go get it, and they go, "You can't get it." I go, "Why?" They go, "You didn't serve in a major war."
Mm.
They go,
so you put it in.
"Skirmishes and battles don't matter. You got to
Yeah.
serve in Vietnam, World War II." And I go, "So I can't get it." And they go, "No."
No, like I said, a lot of the things that we deal with, once we tell the truth to ourselves, we can heal from that. But we got to be willing to look and tell the truth, and it's gonna, people say, I don't want to go back in the past and look and experience those bad decisions or those bad experiences. But I'm telling you, that's where you got to go. You got to go back and experience that and feel it when you realize, okay, that's not who I am today.
Mhm.
I gotta tell you something. That one line by a fighter told me, and then he posted it, and it profoundly changed my life. You know who Nate Diaz is, of course. Nate Dogg. Stockton. You know what he said? Do what scares you till it doesn't scare you anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
If something scares you, go do it right now. And keep doing it till it don't scare you no more.
Yeah.
When it don't scare you no more, it's over.
That's why I'm still getting married.
I know you said 3 in them.
I'm on number 2, bro, and I'm like, I had to go heal first, bro. I had to make sure that Farron is cool before I do that one again.
I'll tell you
Shout
what.
out to
There's
my
a
girl,
lot of
man.
pains
Shout out to
in the
my
world,
girl.
brother.
Shout out to
Ain't
my
nothing
girl.
like a heartache.
I
Ain't
know,
nothing like having your heart broken,
bro.
and you're alone, and ain't no one around, and you're by yourself.
A broken heart and a crushed spirit, they don't go together.
They don't.
They don't go together.
don't.
Only thing that I found that could heal both of those was God. He can heal your broken heart and your crushed spirit, and I'm proof.
You know what fear means? False evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's fear.
Yeah,
fear is not real.
Yeah,
it's false evidence appearing. When my doctor told me that, my ears perked up.
Yeah,
it's false evidence. This ain't real.
Yeah.
This
you
ain't gonna happen.
You got to understand how the brain can't tell a difference between real and imaginary threats. That's why people
have to be careful what you tell your brain, because it'll listen to you.
But that's why people go to Knott's Berry Farm and Halloween Horror Nights and still get scared. It ain't real, but your brain can't tell a difference. So imagine if you can use your brain for that kind of imagination. Use it to start to heal yourself with it.
Amen.
You know, this is a dangerous game, but actors like Heath Ledger, I've done it. When they can't deal with something, I just turn into my character, Thompson. He's a murderer. He ain't scared of shit. Kevin goes, I'm scared. Kevin goes, Kevin, we're leaving you here, and Thompson's taking
Ladies
over.
and gentlemen, the show is now over.
I know who you are right now, and I go,
Kevin, no more pretending. No, we don't pretend no more.
So Kevin, give them your website, please. We can call it evening, and give me your website.
Yeah, Mark's gonna post it. It'll be posted. I'm sure people put it up there. So it's the Bare Knuckle and Bodyguard Hall of Fame. We'll be bringing you to Detroit. You know, we're gonna drag you over there too.
What day?
I haven't made it yet. I'm still. If anybody wants to help out and support us, we sure could use help. We got veteran T-shirts on. All the proceeds go to veterans on our website. You can buy a T-shirt, veteran, or you can buy a regular T-shirt. You can become part of the family. And once again, this is the only Hall of Fame in the world dedicated to the underground. These are underground dudes. Yeah. And they're special. They're special. They're all one of a kind. You know, when you see all these guys, you're going to have fun because they're your people. Yeah. We don't get out of cars and say, okay, wait, we're gonna put on 12-ounce gloves and we're gonna fight right. No, we're going at it. We're going all the way down.
Thank you.
No
Kevin.
holes barred. Yeah.
Been on the show, man. Thank
no
you.
holes barred. Man. Thanks, Kevin, for your time today, man.
And I got one more thing to say before we get off here. Of course, don't forget to see us, ladies and gentlemen. We will be broadcasting live.
Oh yeah,
Hammer and Nails coming up.
Nails.
I'm talking to Fez Russell in about a couple of days and give me
Okay.
before I come down and get a thing set up. How we gonna set it up?
Support the Cynthia Rothrock film, Black Creek.
Yes, please do
Black
report
Creek.
Black Creek.
Black Creek.
And make
Black
sure you get a chance to see us and hear us every Sunday for for
That's
Talk
right.
Radio.
Oh, you got another
Bag
show.
Bag the canvas every Sunday
Sports
night.
show, yeah,
Same
that's
time.
the
Oh, good.
Sports
I
show.
can't wait.
So lock in for boxing.
Fun.
You boxing folks love to talk about boxing. Join the
Oh
show.
my God, yeah.
So,
No
so
doubt.
it's hot. It's hot.
As long as I can
And-
talk about Marvelous
and
Mob and
shout out to
Hagler.
my team.
Marvelous
my-
Mob.
My city council team, Rodney.
Yeah,
Allen,
oh
my
yeah,
campaign
oh yeah.
manager, BJ Douglas, my boy.
Tyre
Ruth.
Dorsey.
You know, I
Tyre
want
Dorsey.
to get
All that
Hitman
stuff, man.
Hearns, the Motor City Cobra. I want to get him at our events so bad because
It ain't
him
hard
and
to do.
Mob
I
and
can
Hagler,
find him.
that
I
was
can
my
find
favorite boxing match.
I
That
can
was the
find
most
we can find
violent
him.
rounds
Big
of
Dre,
boxing.
Big Dre gonna find them.
We can find. It ain't hard to get. I used to have him in my number, man. Thomas Hearns. My
Oh,
phone.
you got
So
the Hitman?
James
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
to
we need
Thomas
the Hitman.
every day. So thank you, Kevin.
Thanks,
you,
Kevin.
Farouk.
Appreciate y'all.
God
Thanks,
bless
Big
you.
Dre.
Oh,
God bless.
bless
Thanks
you
for
for what
those
you're doing,
tuning in
and
and listening.
may God pave this beautiful path that you made to help so many guys, man.
Amen.
I for one,
glory.
veteran, you made me happy, man.
Thank
You
you.
really did.
That's all God's work, bro. Thank
Bless
you.
you, bro.
God
Yeah,
bless
you
you.
made me
Sunday night,
really
8
happy,
o'clock.
man. You made me
Bag
feel
the Kevin,
part of something, and keep going, man. Keep
Appreciate
doing
you.
this.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
This is Farron from the Farron Dozier Show, 8 p.m. Pacific Time on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind, and MBR Radio. That's right, MBR Radio on all their streaming platforms, including MBR Radio on Roku TV, Sunday nights live, 8 p.m. Pacific Time on KCAA Radio and MBRradio.us. The Farron Dozier Show. For more information, search farrond.com. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KC.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.